Good morning, Cam Newton.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great. There was, I think, for some, there was a giant balloon of hope that got a little deflated on Thursday night. What can you say this morning to make us all feel better?
I can't tell you nothing. I can tell you nothing. I just know for me, the process doesn't stop. The process doesn't stop, man. And unfortunately, we didn't come up with the win on Thursday. But at the same time, we just got to keep doing what we're doing and moving forward.
When you were looking at approaching these final three games, what does that approach look like for you?
Just taking it one game at a time. Obviously we have three divisional opponents that we know extremely well. And, we just got to go into it with a sound mind, knowing that, taking one game at a time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Miami on Monday night and embrace this whole process and, enjoy it.
Coach Belichick defended the pick six on the screenplay. What does that mean to you when Bill is publicly standing behind your performance?
I mean, it's the truth. It's not like it's defending. I mean, my job is to do everything that the coach is telling me to do, and that's what I do. Contrary to whatever is being said, whatever is being analyzed, I try my best to put on as best of a performance that I could possibly go out and do each and every play. Whether it's deciding to throw, whether it's deciding to run, whether it's deciding just to make the smart decisions. And, that's what I'm coached to do, and that's what I'm going to continually to do. So no matter, what Coach Bill says, and I appreciate him, deeply, but at the same time, I'm just doing what I'm asked to do and trying to execute to the best I know how.
Cam, talk a little bit about that play, because I think what a lot of people who don't really know the inner workings on a screen and don't understand that it's about anticipation, and there's always going to be a free rusher because you're trying to get those guys upfield. So it's either take a sack or anticipate where a guy is supposed to be when you're running a screen.
Yeah, so on that particular play, Dame was in essence trying to entice the rush, so to speak. So you want to bring the rush to you so you can throw behind them. In that particular play, I was anticipating Dame to kind of come free in the latter part, but that didn't happen. And obviously he got held up, and the defender behind him, caught it. So it's when you start playing this game, second guessing yourself, or you start playing this game, too conservative, that's when mistakes happen. So, for me, in my vantage point, I was just trying to anticipate something and throw it before he was actually open, knowing he was going to be open, but it never got open. So that's the theory.
Right.
Wiggy, you want to ask about the play calling?
I'd like to ask this because I asked Evan McCourty this on Friday, and I know it's just human nature of players, and I've been in that situation before as a player when you now need other things to happen for you from other teams, and you kind of start watching schedules and watching what other teams are doing. And I asked Devin, how difficult is it, for players not to kind of get caught up in that mode? I know a lot of guys are going to be watching the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens game, but just not getting caught in that mode and still trying to focus on the task at hand and not letting anybody else dictate maybe how you feel as far as your playoff hopes.
Well, you still have to do your job, and that's just to still win. So I think that's what it comes to first. Obviously we all heard the cliche thing: take care of what you can control, and that's what we have been trying to do this whole time. But for us, it's even magnified now. So it doesn't matter what any other person does. We still have to do the things that we know we can control.
Cam? What has surprised you about your time here in New England so far?
The weather.
Well, this is like a Tom Brady answer.
Yes.
I mean that's why Tom Brady said that he wouldn't be caught dead living in the Northeast ever again.
No, I'm not going to necessarily say that. New England has gave me days where I was just anticipating the frigid cold air, and then boom, it feels like a spring day. And then there's been times when I was caught without a jacket, and my goodness, the cold shivers through the bones. But as far as anything else, I don't know. And I was saying it in a jokingly manner, man. The things you hear about the weather here, and you can never prepare for the weather here because you have to get all materials from coats, jackets, leggings, and long johns and everything from here to be prepared for the weather for here. So
yeah, I mean, you probably can't bring out that mountaineering shorts outfit that you were wearing a few weeks ago. That's got to be put away for the winter.
No, that will be smart for New England or Boston. That's why I wore it in Houston.
Speaking of the New England region, I know it was reported this over the weekend that you were selling your house in Charlotte. Have you looked into real estate up here at all?
Not at this particular moment. I have not. So.
So the answer would be no. I have not looked into real estate yet here in New England.
I'm not. No, I have not.
Okay.
Cam, do you have any when you're looking?
Go ahead. What, Cam?
You guys do a lot of research.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of research, and you have leading questions that you probably already know the answer to, but I guess you just want to hear it come out of my mouth. So that's the funny thing about a lot of questions that are asked.
When you are looking for a place to live, though, Cam, are there any must-haves, whether it's a condo or a house? Is there anything that you view as an absolute necessity or a deal breaker that if a place didn't have it, you wouldn't buy it?
Outside of space, and I don't know. It's crazy. I'm always on energies, and if you ever walk into a place or you ever be around a person and you just catch a bad vibe or a bad intuition about something, I wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. There's been times that the place has been gorgeous, but I just wouldn't move on it because I didn't necessarily like the way it made me feel. So, yeah.
That's the feng shui, right?
That's the steez.
That's the steez. It's the steez and the feng shui. Yes, Wiggy.
Yeah, Cam, one of the things that's kind of frustrated me for a number of years is some of the ways that Josh McDaniels might call some of the plays inside the 5-yard line. And, as a fan. So going into games, what's some of the maybe the thought process of what he wants to call in certain areas? I mean, we saw it this past game where he had 4 runs inside the 5. And then obviously last year as a fan, you watch him against the Tennessee Titans have it 1st and goal on the 1-yard line and runs the ball 4 times. What is some of the thought process into deciding on whether you want to run down inside the 5 or you want to throw inside the 5?
Man, one thing that's not about to happen, and let me be perfectly clear, you're not about to create any type of division between me and Josh McDaniels. You're talking about a person who, number one, respects this opportunity first and foremost, and that's talking from Coach Bill Belichick. That's talking in regards of Josh McDaniels, obviously Robert Kraft, and even Jedd. I think that it'd be selfish of me to kind of indirectly point the finger when here's a person who is putting our team in the best situation to win. For the most part, me and Josh's relationship has grown, obviously while I've been here. And for me to kind of know him and know how his theory and thinking is, it's been just something that I've even attached to myself even more. He's a very passionate person that I would never second guess his theory, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And was it the play calling? And there's been times where, as a player, you kind of bail your coach out because of the plays that you may make. But more times than not, Josh has bailed the whole team out because of his theory and his in-game adjustments. So, I mean, it's give and take. Now, going back at Thursday, it's a lot of fingers. You don't have enough hands to go around to point the finger of blame. And I know all the highlights is going to be on the offense. And, obviously with me being the signal caller and the person in demand, a lot of blame goes to me. Yeah, and that's fair. That's anytime you look at offense and you're saying you had a lot of 3-and-outs, you had a lot of opportunities missed, the defense upheld there into the bargain. But at the end of the day, we played the most ultimate team sport, and that's football. We need all three phases to be in cahoots at the same time, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And anytime that opportunity lacks, then you're going to have what you've seen on Thursday. And we've had games, and I'm not going to necessarily go back and say, we've had games where we have 2 out of the 3 perform, and just like Thursday, and you got the result. We had 1 out of the 3 perform, and we've seen games where all 3 of them all perform well, and we know how that can look. So that's why you practice. That's why you anticipate. That's why you have the courage to say, man, look, we're going to get it better each and every time. Because that's what's going to happen. You don't go into a game and say you're going to get your ass beat. No, you're going to go into the game saying you're going to be beating the ass, right? And that's our mentality. And yeah, there's some division right now. I'm not sure what's being said in the fan base. I only can assume and things like that. It's you guys' job to kind of probe and pick and things like that, and I respect that. But yet at the same time, you got guys in this locker room, including myself, that's willing to do whatever it takes to win a football game. And when you don't get the outcome that you're desperately searching for, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, you take it personal. Yeah, you need a time to kind of debrief. But for me to sit up here and throw a person that I admire, and Josh, under the bus to say, he should have called 4 passes. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to do that, man. I'm not going to do that. Because I know just as much as the energy that I know goes into me wanting to win, I know Josh shares that same thing, and I know he wants to put this team in the best situation to win. Listen, and that's one of the things you can ask for.
Wiggy is not trying to create division. He's your biggest fan around here. When you do get your new home, he's going to be waiting in the bathroom, hiding out for you to arrive. I mean, he talks.
No. Let me say this. I'm not barking at Wiggy. I think Wiggy is a person that I appreciate, even obviously appreciate. He's been a big advocate for me. But I'm just use the question that he asked to kind of nip a lot of things in the bud from other people. And you know who those other people are. You may be one of those other people. And I'm not saying this here. I know. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that's being said. And I do not want the thought or the theory to think that there hasn't been this must-win attitude since week 6. And yeah, we've come on up short. We did things that we know we shouldn't have done, and yeah, but you still cannot negate the fact that guys are busting their tails with preparation week in and week out, and doing things, going over and beyond. We're just not getting the results that we're needing, and that's life. What happens when you study so hard for an exam and you don't get the grade? You don't get the grade that you're searching for, or XYZ. You know what I'm saying? There's been my practice habits this year has been more intensified than any other time in my life. I've been playing this game since I was 6-7 years old. And I've never cared about practice as much as I've cared about practice since I've been in New England. and you can't say just because you don't practice good you don't play good, because that hasn't been the case. My practice habits has increased from watching film to caring about each and every rep to working out, taking on the things that you have to do on and off the field, from nutrition to rehab and everything else. And for our record to be 6-7 right now, yes, it's extremely frustrating. But with 3 games left in the fold, what am I going to stop my preparation? No. If anything else, you're going to try to do other things to try to, find ways to grit and grind to win out. And what I do know about, this franchise and this city and the expectation is that's the way you do it. You got to just find ways to win. And that's what we're going to try to do.
Speaking of this franchise, Patriots teams have struggled sometimes in Miami over the years. How have you ended up playing down there?
I just want to win. I don't care. Look, I'm not going through no almanac. You know what I'm saying? I'm going basically this next opportunity and going to pretty much write down history for what I can do. I could care less what was done in the past. I could care less how my, performances was. I could care less what they done. Look, on Monday night, everything is kind of a clear slate, and we're just going to make it do what it do.
What do you think of Tua so far as a quarterback?
Tua's been great. I peeked. I think we all were watching the Chiefs game yesterday. So for what it's worth, he's been doing good. It's so much on a rookie quarterback with the demand of knowing how to prepare, how to play, and I remember going through that whole transition. And for me, it was extremely different because I never was in a place more than 2 years, throughout my maturation as a player. Obviously, I went to Florida, then I transferred there, spent a year in junior college, and then I spent another year at Auburn. Had a lot of success in both places, but I was only there for a year. So my relationship building, kind of attributes kind of sucked. I didn't know necessarily I was afraid of attaching to people because I knew I was going to move, almost like that kid that moves a lot in high school. So when I finally got into the NFL, I kind of suffered from that. I didn't know how to be honest. I didn't know how to, kind of empathize with different people because I was sheltered and scared, didn't know how to, what that feeling was going to be, being around a person a lot and trusting that I was going to be around, people a lot because of that. So when I see a guy like Tua, I think the best thing that he has going on was obviously his preparation before going and being at Alabama, a program that's probably top 5 in producing, NFL talent, not only mentally but physically as well. He's in a great situation, and he's playing extremely well, and I think I know he'll keep getting better from it.
That was the quarterback question of the week for Cam Newton, which is brought to you by Northeast Men's Health, with offices in Dedham near Legacy Place and in Salem, New Hampshire. Northeast Men's Health, the experts in men's sexual health. Go to northeastmenshealth.com. All right, well, you got a full week here, so back at it and go get ready for the Dolphins.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a great week now.
You too.
All right, Cam.
Later.
Thank you.